Hey guys, I'm Ben Bateman.
And I'm Andrew Guy.
And we are
The Action Guys.
Nice and traditional,
Nice.
Straight from the hip.
Right, what an exciting week for the DCEU, and honestly for you and me as movie fans.
Yes, absolutely, guys. This is a big week. There's a lot to talk about. We're excited about this episode. This is another one in our series of the definitive ranking series that we've been doing.
Yes.
And this one felt especially pertinent because I think there's a big win on DC's hands right now in Shazam.
100%. You and I have been absolutely dying to see this movie. We went and saw it as common folk, not a screener. You were out of town for your screener, and usually I'm your plus one. You were out of town. Shazam came out, and our friends in this movie space have been gushing and dying over this film for almost a month, and we've just been dying to see it. And last night, before we watched it, I told you I was a little worried about the hype.
Yeah,
and we both loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so this was a big win for DC. I really enjoyed this movie. We did a full review of just that movie over on Action Movie Anatomy on the Popcorn Talk Network, which is our other show we do every single week. You guys can go check that out. But today on the show, we are going to be asking the question, what is the true worst and best movie in the DCEU? And another question I have, and I don't know if this is necessarily going to be the focus of the show, but I was thinking about pre-MCU Marvel. So like Blade through like probably like Fantastic Four 2. And that 10 years. And really comparing that 10 years to the 7 movies released so far in the DCEU. And, like, which would you take?
I mean, are you asking me now, or are we going to talk about it later?
We can kind of get through the show, but because you know, I think this is important for us to point out. We'll get to our shout-outs here in a second, but Drew and I are big movie fans. We're critics. We review most things, and we've done shows together for years. I like some of the DCEU movies. I don't like others. Just like I like some of the MCU movies, and I don't like some of the others. There's also other movies in the superhero genre than just those two categories.
100%.
But on the whole, most people believe, and I believe, the DCEU has been pretty disappointing. Like,
yeah, I mean, honestly, it wasn't until it felt like Wonder Woman came out that it was like, okay, so they can actually make a phenomenal film. Not just a good enough film, because you and I are actually pretty big fans of Man of Steel, which most people aren't. Like,
it's polarizing.
Yeah, it's pretty polarizing opinion. And now it feels like they might be on the right track, I hope, with Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman being the last 3 films. Or, well, I guess
Justice League was in there too.
Yeah.
It'll be fascinating for us to go through this list and kind of talk about each one. We've included some other segments as well that I think will be a lot of fun. But so let's kind of save that Marvel versus the DCEU thing for a little later in the show.
Okay.
But that's, I think, something to talk about. So first and foremost, guys, follow us on Twitter at Team Action Show. You can also find me personally at Twitter at Ben Bateman Media.
You guys can find me at Andrew Guy on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find the show on Instagram at Action Industries. We got a great Facebook page also by the same name. Give it a like. And the last thing that I want to plug personally is our YouTube channel, where you can find full episodes of this show on video. Now, you can find the full episode on audio in numerous places on the Collider Movie Talk feed. You can do that on Apple One, Podcast One. You can do it even on Spotify. But if you want to watch the video, Action Industries on YouTube is the only place to find this full episode. It is available to patrons, patreon.com/teamaction on Fridays, and it's available to everyone on Tuesdays on our YouTube channel. So,
so guys, we are going to get straight into the show, and that question that I asked, what is the true worst and best DCEU movie? That is like the one question we're sort of trying to answer here, and so
these top 3 we absolutely adore, and number 3 is Man of Steel. Surprising, probably for a lot of people.
I like Man of Steel a lot. The trailers we talked about already. Trailer 2 and Trailer 3.
Good.
There's so many things about Man of Steel that I love. I'm one of the few people that loves Russell Crowe. I really like the Krypton stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
Goodbye, my son.
Goodbye, my son.
I love Kevin Costner.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, that stuff's so good.
We're just reciting the trailer.
Yeah. Amy Adams is Lois. She's a really good Lois. Like, I love all the Clark stuff before he becomes Superman. Like
I love his origin story.
Yeah, like him working at the diner and like him like all that stuff. It's just
the bus.
My son was in the bus. He saw what Clark did. We're just reciting the trailer.
Yeah, we really are.
The issue with this movie, and this is the issue that most people have, is that the last 45 minutes suffers from what so many superhero movies do, which is gods fighting gods.
Yeah.
And it's like people throwing each other through buildings. And it's good that they pick up on some of that in BVS. That's what Batman's witnessing, is the world being, like the city being just decimated by these two.
We never see. No. We never get to actually see, because that's what we always think when we're watching these movies. You're like, you're a superhero fighting a supervillain. You are literally murdering thousands of people during your fight.
Yeah.
Like, if no one's acknowledging it. And I love that they acknowledge Man of Steel's battle at the beginning of BVS.
And he snaps his neck at the end, right? He kills Zod.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
You do.
Yeah.
And you're a big comic book fan. A lot of the most diehard comic book fans are like, Superman would never kill someone.
I know, that's like an issue. Are you doing a Kalinowski impression or?